Surah Syarh bring meaning of peace and solace for the troubled hearts. This surah is the 94th surah in the Quran, and it is also known as Surah Al-Inshirah, literally the opening of the heart. During the early days of Islam, that was a period of great difficulty. People were still hostile to the messages of Islam and Prophet Muhammad himself. Surah Al-Inshirah came as a word of encouragement from Allah and to the Prophet and his Ummah. It is also believed that this surah have been revealed in Mecca. Therefore, we can understand Surah Al-Inshirah as thematically deals with comforting and offering solace to the believers. So, therefore, what we understand from this surah, Surah Syarh or Surah Al-Inshirah, is we can see the blessing that Allah gave to Prophet Muhammad to overcome his difficulties at that time. So, through that, we can see that Allah's love for humanity. He tried to inspire Prophet Muhammad SAW, to think about his grace and to thank him to overcome the difficulties that he went through that time. And this also relates to the responsibilities of Prophet Muhammad to complete the mission in propagating Islam to the humanity.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Majin. Today I want to talk about Surah Al-Syarh al-Tafsir. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alam nashrah laka sadrak, ayat 1. O Prophet, did we not lay open your breast? The Prophet ﷺ said about his hardship he was going through when he first started preaching in Islam. Allah reminds him that He blessing him so much that he should not be so distressed in the initial difficulties. The Prophet ﷺ's chest was opened in that he was open to Islam. Also, the Prophet ﷺ's chest was physically open when the angel came to him and performed open heart surgery as a child. وَوَضَعْنَا عَنْكَ وِزْرَكَ, ayat 2, and relieve you of the burden. الَّذِي أَنْقَضَ ظَهْرَكَ, ayat 3, that had worn out, open your back. The Prophet ﷺ used to be sad and worried about the state of his people. He saw everyone doing evil deeds and worshipping idols, and he was stressed about finding the right path. Allah helped him too by giving him Islam, which relieved him of his confusion and stress. وَرَفَعْنَا لَكَ ذِكْرَكَ, ayat 4. And did we not exalt your fame? The Prophet ﷺ, because we are now all over the world and all for all time. There is blessing that was given by Allah to the Prophet ﷺ. فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا, ayat 5. Indeed, there is easy with hardship. إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا, ayat 6. Most certainly, there is easy with worship. This was repeated twice to reassure the Prophet ﷺ that even though he is going through rough time now, this time will pass and he will be gifted with much better state. The only key here is patience. فإذا فرغت فانصب. Ayat 7. So whenever you are free, strive in devotion. وإلى ربك فرغت. Ayat 8. And turn to your Lord and longing. Allah instructs the prophets to turn to Allah and worship Him whenever He has the time and seek happiness and everything from Allah. Shukran jazilan. That's all from Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Reciting Surah Inshirah in prayers. According to the traditions of Prophet Muhammad's family and Islamic scholars, if one wishes to recite Surah Inshirah following Fatihatul Kitab in his or her prayers, he or she must also recite Surah Duha, since Inshirah and Duha are regarded as one full surah. So, surely with hardship comes ease. From the 5th verse of Surah Al-Inshirah. The religious administration of Muslims of Kyrgyzstan, also known as Muftiyat, consult Muslims throughout the country to accept the pandemic as a test from Allah and to remain patient, even in the face of continuing restriction. This passage is referring to an article that has been published recently. The article is about the condition and the effect of the people in Kyrgyzstan. You can refer to the source provided below to read the full article.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Jomana. Today I will talk my part Hikmah of Surah Syarh with you. Firstly, Allah inspired the Prophet. The most bitter is the most present. The difficult phase by Farhad in the spreading the truth are only temporary. In the face of the Allah, the redoubled and the protection, the finally victory must belong to the Allah's message. And secondly, Allah exalts the Prophet. The Prophet would use. After finish a day's working, we should not stop. We must continue to work hard and do something more important. That is, to pray Allah wholeheartedly to accept to our work. Forgive me the shortcomings in our work. Help us make use persevere, and finally complete our mission. And thirdly, Allah teaches His creatures to be patient and most important to believe in Allah's promise, because Allah is the most just. He never put a test beyond the ability of His creatures. And lastly, we undergoing extreme problems, and the failures do not necessarily despair and be graceful in dealing with the various problems. In the light of the patient and the trust time of today's world, the Quran in itself is the singular biggest source of motivation for any belief, and the Surah Syarh is one such of the example. So we should follow the admonition from Allah and the Sunnah of the Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and become the excellent Muslim. This is my part. Thank you everyone. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Reading this surah regularly provides numerous authentic benefits from various aspects of life, including spiritual and also physical. Firstly, a person who recites Surah Al-Nashrah will be given safety and conviction by Allah. Not only that, recitation of this surah is also good for relieving chest pains. All the ailments in the chest, such as heart palpitations, will be cured by the verses of this surah. Other than that, Surah Al-Nashrah gives protection from dangerous diseases such as cancer, diabetes, and hepatitis. Next, A person who recites Surah Al-Nashrah 21 times a day daily will see all their worldly problems disappear very quickly. Moreover, recitation of this surah can also help in increasing yaqeen in deen. And last but not least, those who recite Surah Al-Nashrah will gain respect as well as honor from people around them.